very good afternoon to you and Merry Christmas. What a joy it is to worship together on this day. My name is Pastor Beth, and I want to offer a very warm welcome on behalf of the other pastors here at Good Shepherd. And I'm so excited to open up God's Word over the next just couple of minutes while we reflect on the Christmas story. When I was a little girl, I loved the game hide and seek, but I was always the first one to be found. I was really bad at it. And one of the reasons was because I was afraid of the dark. You got to understand, I was one of those kids that when I turned off my bedroom light at night, I was convinced that the monsters would appear from my bed and grab my ankles. And so I would turn off the light and try to jump as far away as I could to get on the bed. Anyone have that tactic? Did anyone do that tactic? Come on, I know some of us did. Hey, turns out, kiddos, no monsters live under your bed, so you will sleep safe tonight. But when I played hide and seek, I was really bad at it until one time I played hide and seek at a church. And at the church, there was a closet in a hidden space, and I thought, what bad could happen at a church? Maybe I'm going to go for a really good one. And so I got into that closet, and I got into place, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And I waited, and I started to get really nervous that I was not going to get found because my hiding spot was too good. I started to play all these different scenarios in my mind that maybe they forgot about me, maybe they gave up, maybe they moved on and they're playing another game, maybe they're just all eating pizza right now, until I started to hear the footsteps come, and the door opened, and the light flooded in, and they said, "We found you, finally." You know, I didn't know it that night, but that night taught me something about God and what God does in Christmas. You see, right now, in this moment, we are sitting in the glow of Christmas. We're in a dimly lit space with the lights just flickering all around us, and the lights are low, but we're not afraid of the dark. No one is looking under their pews or their chairs for monsters or a boogeyman. We all feel safe. There is something so serene and holy about sitting here in this soft and beautiful space. But I also know that for many of us, darkness isn't always beautiful. As we grow up, we're not afraid of the literal darkness. In fact, many of us work really hard to make our rooms as dark as possible so we can sleep better. But as we grow up, the darkness becomes more sophisticated, doesn't it? It's the grief that comes with the empty chair at Christmas this year. Maybe losing a loved one in 2025 unexpectedly. And we feel the heaviness of the darkness of that loss. Or maybe it's your health or a friend's health, of a diagnosis that came unwelcomed as a surprise. And now you are wondering what the future will be like as it feels so unknown. Or maybe it's the relationship, a marriage that is coming apart, a friendship that is broken, a child that is estranged. And every single day you are reminded of the darkness and the grief of that loved one. And maybe it's quieter than all that. For some of you, maybe 2025 has just felt like a low hum of consistent disappointment. Waiting for that promotion, waiting for a job, waiting for a phone call. And then we could even just talk about the world. Every single day we look at the headlines and we think, how could it get any darker than this? How could the injustices get any more grievous? How could the war continue to go on? How could it possibly get any more polarized than it already is? And all of that is what makes Christmas at times feel complicated. As we celebrate the coming of a newborn king and we sing joy to the world, we also remember that we live in a space that is not yet complete. The already, but not yet. That is, the already Christ has come, but not yet is all the injustice and pain and the darkness in the world obliterated. I know I have my own story as well. My mother in her late 60s, who has frontal temporal dementia, I've been a caretaker for her for a number of years. My mother, who was once vibrant, my mother, who was once the life of the party, my mother, who was a socialite, my mother, who loved the Lord and had energy and worked out, I've watched her go on a sharp decline over the last several years. And just a year ago this month, we made the decision to move her out into memory care. And people told me that the decline would be rapid, but I couldn't understand what they meant until I saw it with my own eyes. She now is nonverbal. She now is unable to walk, and she now is on hospice. And so just recently, we made the really difficult decision to move her back into our home. And yesterday, moving trucks arrived, moving in medical equipment, medical-grade beds, medical-grade chairs. And I remember thinking, is this the Christmas present? Is this what it's all about? And why do I share that? I share that because I know that I'm not alone. I know that I'm not alone in navigating 2025 and feeling that longing for newness and life and hope to come. There's a passage in the book of Isaiah that we read oftentimes during Advent and oftentimes during Christmas, where that Isaiah prophesies to a people who were living in turmoil. You've got to understand that there had been a military takeover for the people in northern Israel. And their cities were destroyed. Families were separated. There was military occupation. And they were oppressed. And they were longing for someone to come and fix their darkness. They were longing for someone to come and overthrow the oppressors. They wanted deliverance. They wanted a warrior. And right in the middle of their darkness, Isaiah prophesies. The people walking in a darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of a deep darkness, a light has dawned. Now, here's what's easy to miss when we read passages like this, is the light comes into the darkness. It doesn't remove the darkness. It doesn't obliterate it. But instead, the light dares to enter into the darkness while the people were still walking in darkness. And many, while they were walking in darkness, whose hearts were hard and cold against God. But we discovered that they didn't have to put themselves back together. They didn't have to find their way out first. But the light came right where they are, right where they were, just as they are. And then Isaiah says something strange and tells us exactly how this light comes. When he says, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given." A child? How is a child an answer to darkness? How is a child who cannot even lift its head and is vulnerable and needs to be cared for by its mother an answer to darkness? This isn't a warrior. This isn't a 5-step program on how to finish or fix themselves. This seems completely absurd. The people wanted power, not vulnerability. The people wanted answers, not just God's presence. They wanted things wrapped up in a tightly neat bow. They wanted the darkness to end once and for all, not a God who would enter it willingly. And instead, God enters their darkness. Instead of giving a neatly wrapped explanation, he gives them a person, and that person today has come looking for you. And so today we light these Advent candles. Just a little over a month ago, we lit the candle of peace, not because we live in a world that is absent of conflict, not because we live in a world that is absent of anxiety, but because we believe that the Prince of Peace was born into a world full of political turmoil and entered into it to find people so that God could redeem them and offer them peace. Because that's what God does. God finds us in the dark and gives us peace. And then 3 weeks ago, we lit the candle of joy, not because we feel perfectly happy and always smiling, not because everything is okay, not because joy is the absence of grief, but we lit that candle because God is a God that entered into the darkness and refuses to leave us. Therefore, in response to the goodness of God who comes to us, we find joy because that's what God does. God comes into the darkness and finds us and brings us joy. And 2 weeks ago, we lit the candle of hope. And when we lit the candle of hope, we lit the candle of hope because we believe that even though we don't have all of the answers, even though we cannot see what's ahead, we are not waiting alone, because that's what God does. God finds us in the dark and gives us hope. And then 4 weeks ago, we lit the candle of love. Not just a Hallmark card kind of love, but almost a visceral love. A love that goes to the greatest lengths, a love that goes into the darkness, a love that crosses all borders and boundaries to find us, because that's what God does. God finds us in the dark and offers us love. And now today we light the Christ candle. We light the Christ candle because this is the heart of the Christmas story, of a God who dares to enter into the grief and the darkness and the pain and the war and the anxiety of this world in order to find those who are trapped in it so God can redeem them and rescue them. And so Isaiah proclaims, "For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." So here's the heart of the matter of all of it and what this has to do with you. The light of Christ came looking in this world for you. And I don't know where you are today, but maybe today you are one of those that has been hiding in your grief and you don't want to be found. God has come looking for you. Maybe you're one of those that is hiding in your shame because you are afraid if God finds you, he will be ashamed of you. God has come looking for you and offers you grace. Maybe you're one of those that's hiding in doubt and struggling to believe. God has come looking for you, and you don't have to have it all figured out for God to find you. Maybe you're one of those that is hiding behind anxiety and you don't want to get out of bed every day and you want to stay under the covers. God has come looking for you and offers you peace. Maybe you are one of those that is hiding in a broken marriage and you are despairing and wondering how this is going to be put back together. God has come looking for you and offers you grace and healing and redemption and wisdom and the power of the Holy Spirit. Maybe you're one of those that is hiding in addiction, another swipe, another hit, another drink, another show to binge and numb ourselves away. God has come looking for you and offers you freedom and liberation. Maybe you're even just hiding behind your smile, and every time anyone sees you and they ask you how you're doing, you say, "I'm fine, I'm doing just great," but inside, you feel like you are just dying inside. God has come looking for you to redeem you and to heal you and to help you discover the joy of being fully known. And in being fully known, you are fully found and you are fully healed. God has come looking for you. He came looking for you in a manger. He came looking for you in a cross. He came looking for you in the resurrection. He came looking for you in the ascension, and he has come looking for you in the gift of the power of the Holy Spirit that is among us today. And tonight, my friends, tonight he has come looking for you. That door has swung open. The light is flooding in, and you can discover that you were never forgotten. You were never too far gone. You were never too lost. You were never too hidden, because you don't have to put your lives back together first in order to be found, because over 2,000 years ago, the God of the universe who created the heavens and the earth left his throne and came to this earth in a vulnerable way and took on the form of a servant, took on flesh, fully God and fully human, taught a way of love and righteousness and kingdom living, and journeyed to the cross where he laid down his life for you as he was looking for you. And 3 days later, he was risen to new life. And when we discover the joy of being found and we say, "Okay, God, here I am," we not only join Christ in that death, but someday we will rise again as we experience eternal salvation. My friends, that is Christmas. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. He has found you. He has found you. He has found you. So then what are we to do with this? Your life doesn't have to be put together to be found. The darkness doesn't have to be end to be found, for God is already there looking for you. And sometimes it's in the darkness the greatest things are born. The greatest things are born. But it's not just about being found, my friends, Being found is not just for us, but it's that we would also go out into the world and be a finder. Yes, we celebrate that God has entered into the darkness in order that he can find us and offer these things of love, joy, and peace and hope and the light of Christ. But we are also called and commissioned and sent to go out into the world and carry that light of Christ so that others can be found. And think about the gripping story from 2018. From the soccer team from Thailand. On a regular day, they went out and they just went on a hike after practice. And they went cave exploring, as little boys do. Boys love caves, and they went cave exploring. As they were cave exploring, a monsoon came in and flooded the caves, and they were trapped nearly a mile beneath the surface. There they sat in the darkness, wondering if they would ever be found, wondering what lengths people would go through to rescue them. Turns out it was incredible lengths as this rescue operation took over 10,000 people, including 900 police officers, 100 scuba divers, scores of rescue workers, 100 governmental agencies, 2,000 soldiers, 10 police helicopters, 7 ambulances, 700 diving cylinders, and we could go on and on and on. And they went through incredible lengths. And in a miracle, these boys were found, every single one of them. And I doubt that anyone regretted the effort that they went through so that those boys could be found in the darkness. And that, my friends, is a drop in the bucket compared to what Christ has done for us. But not only that, in the same way that those rescue workers desperately went out to find those boys who were trapped in the darkness, that is the commission for us tonight. That is a commission for us. In a few moments, you and I are going to light the candle and we're going to sing Silent Night. And for us, that's not just a tradition, that's not just a practice, but it's a commissioning, it's a revolution of Christ's people going out into the world and looking for those who are trapped in darkness, whether they are trapped in addiction, whether they are trapped in starvation, whether they are trapped in injustice, whether they are trapped in a broken relationship, whether they are trapped in hurt, whether they are trapped in a disease. And it's our call in this world to go out and great droves of people and shine the light of Christ, that where there is injustice, we bring justice, that where there is hunger, we feed those who are hungry, that where there is brokenness, we bring healing, because that is a revolution of Christmas. It's not just to be kept for us, but instead, my friends, you and I, we are found, and as found ones, how could we not carry that light in the world, for the light of Christ shines. And so, friends, I invite you to stand with me as we together sing this song that our team here at Good Shepherd has written, called The Fullness of Heaven. And I want to invite you to attune yourselves to the presence of God. Maybe you just want to simply whisper to yourself, okay, God, you have found me. Here I am yours. My friends, the Spirit of God is actually here. This service for us is not just something we do and to remember what Christ has done. But Jesus is here now. The Spirit of the living God is here now and delights to connect with you and delights to be known. So maybe just whisper that simple prayer, okay, God, here am I. I'm found. I'm yours.
Thank you for listening to the Encounter Faith podcast. This podcast is a service of G. Shep Productions from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Naperville, Illinois. All rights reserved. If you're in the area, we'd love to meet you on a Sunday morning at our 9 a.m. or 10:45 services. At Good Shepherd, we are inviting everyone to walk together in the calling of Christ for a life of eternal impact. This podcast is produced and hosted by me, Ross Cochran, and our theme song is Wake the Earth by 1111 Worship. Thank you for listening. We'll talk again soon.